Welcome back to another episode of the Whatever Buddy podcast. Episode 115 of the WBP is here, and we are ready to go. On today's episode, we've got pet peeves and cover songs. That's right. So sit back, grab yourself an egg and bacon bagel, and enjoy the show. So with no further ado, Ryan and Johnny. All right. I heard that comment.
All right. Yeah, I made comments. What of it? Take that Dirtbird shirt off.
Dirtbird shirt? What are you talking about? Oh,
it's an Eagles hoodie. I know an eagle is not technically a Dirtbird, and I know the Baltimore Ravens are technically the Baltimore Dirtbirds, but there's something about calling Philadelphia Eagles Dirtbirds that makes me kind of happy inside.
You also called it a shirt, and it was a sweatshirt, so...
I'm not always right. I'm not always on.
First, we should say hello to the people. Hello, everybody.
Hi, guys. How's everybody?
Welcome back to the Whatever Buddy podcast, episode 115. Here, ready to go, ready to rock.
That's a 115, not a 150. It's 115.
115. 1 plus 5 equals 7.
It's all good. What's up, dude?
Nothing much. You know, I'm going to do my best not to come in hot today.
Come in hot. I like when you come in hot. It's kind of fun.
Well, there is a effing Rolls Royce parking in that spot at the end of the driveway that is not a spot and completely blocking
to explain
the
to people, you pull in from the street and it's a small little parking lot, and there is one of those like triangle spots basically saying you can't park here because like you're going out into the street, but people use it as a parking spot.
And the reason you can't park there is because it technically is blocking the entranceway.
What kind of a Rolls Royce? Like a Phantom?
One. A huge, I don't know. I wouldn't
know.
The
one that the doors open like that?
Well, I don't know. All I know is it's like an oversized car. Like it looks like a ginormous square that even if, like I came here last week and that guy was there, just parking normally takes up 2 spots. It's like, who's the guy, who's got the Rolls Royce here? We might have a guest coming in because I just opened the door and screamed at the top of my lungs, whoever has the Rolls Royce is parked like an asshole. So somebody come by knocking on the door. And if they do come knocking on the door, if they should come knocking on this door, dude, that would be amazing because I'd love to hear what their argument at getting mad at me
Hey, buddy, welcome to the podcast. Can you answer me 2 questions? 1, why would you park there? And 2,
why would you buy that car?
Unpopular opinion. Yeah, unpopular opinion. I think they're hideous.
Dude,
they're beautiful.
It's a status thing.
Like, I bet you driving that thing is the inside. They're rad.
It's probably like having like one of those luxury boats on the street. You know?
There's if $300,000. There's so much more I would buy.
But here, like, listen. You look at certain cars, and you got you can just kind of tell the person you're dealing with. For example, you see somebody with a Cybertruck.
I agree.
You're like, okay, says a lot about who you are as a person buying that. You have a Rolls Royce for $300,000. There's so many cars that are awesome that you could buy for $300,000, but you got a Rolls Royce because it's a status fucking thing.
And I hate to jump on this bandwagon, but dude drives a big truck.
Did I ask you this question last week on the podcast? Do you think the guy who drives the big truck knows that everybody's looking at him saying that guy's got a small penis? Do you think they are self-aware enough to know that I've got this ginormous truck? When I drive down the street, most people are looking at me going, must have a small dick.
No, of course not, because they bought the truck. They think it's cool.
It's so weird.
It's a cliche. How'd that even start?
I don't know. But stereotypes exist for a reason.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It's like the angry bagel guy. Remember the angry bagel guy?
No. But I like it.
Never mind.
I'm the angry bagel guy.
Yeah. Shout down the hallway again. See if we can get ourselves a podcast guest.
Should I do it?
Do it.
I got this.
Hold, please.
Wait, 1 second. Let me make sure
this is funny to me. While we're waiting for Johnny to return, he's just set off the microphone that he's going outside to make sure that it's still there.
It's still there. So
still there?
With that being said, I'm going to once again let them know they're being an asshole.
All right. I like that. Hold, please.
The person with the Rolls Royce is parked like an asshole.
My man.
What
You
do you
didn't hear
think?
it because your headphone. You didn't hear it because your headphones are out. But the first thing I said was "my man."
Nice. Good. You could hear it? Could you hear it?
Oh yeah, I heard. Well, I heard it. I don't know if they heard it. Are they inside or outside?
Well, here's the thing. I have a funny feeling that they're in the building, in the room that borders, like that outdoor room that borders our wall. Yeah.
Like right next to you. Oh, so they would have heard regardless.
Oh, they would have heard that.
Yeah.
They had heard that.
And I guess they probably don't know who you are. So that's some anonymous fun right there, man. No harm, no foul.
Well,
right?
If
So you're like,
if they're next door, then they definitely would have heard that.
yeah. Hey, they fixed the ceiling.
Hey, they didn't cover it. They did remove the plastic, but you can see if you were to walk
It's
over
not
there.
hanging.
Well, if you were to walk over there and look up, you would see where the wood. They fixed it. They definitely.
You can't see sky, can you? It doesn't go to the outside.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
They fixed it. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, how you doing, man?
I am good, dude. I had a busy morning that came with some good news, and
It's good.
I had an eye doctor appointment, and things are going okay. And then, dude, a couple of days ago, so I'll make this real quick because the eyes are boring to everybody at this point. I get it. They're boring to me too. But I was having trouble up close with my one eye, okay? The right eye. And like
Talking about the eye again. Goodness
yeah,
gracious,
like Monday,
Harris.
Tuesday, it cleared up.
Wow. That's
I
good.
was like, whoa, okay.
What good news did you get today?
Well, that was my good news.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear.
Well, you asked how I was, and I thought you genuinely meant it, so I went into it. If you just wanted me to say I'm good, then you could have said like, I don't know.
Well, no, it's we talk about your eyes more on this podcast than anything else.
That's why I just said if you don't listen to me, that's why I said it's boring, and I'll make it quick because it's boring to me too. I acknowledge that. But you asked how I was, and once again, I genuinely thought you meant it, so I answered the question.
I did. I'm
I
glad
answered the
you're doing
question
good.
with the truth.
Doing good. Well, I'm glad
I'm
you're
here
doing
for
good.
the truth.
All right, well, if we're here for the truth, then let's get down to the truth. So last week on the podcast, we talked about how you never came to any of my shows yet for the residency. So ladies and gentlemen of the planet,
Yeah.
let's get to the
Ladies
bottom
and
of this.
gentlemen of the planet is what you meant?
Yeah. Harris,
Yeah, me.
4 shows in Los Angeles.
4.
Granted,
I was
we'll
here
give
for 3
him-
of them. I was
He
here.
was
I
here for
wasn't
3
here
of
for the first one. That first one, I was
right,
I was
right.
a plane. I was a plane distance
That's
away.
right, which is fine. You had 3 more. Don't worry, dude. You got 3 more. I'll be home.
The second
next
one,
week.
I was not feeling good. We established.
Okay. Well, then there's
Third
the
one, I was in a studio session. We established.
and then there was the 4th one.
And the fourth one just makes me a bad friend.
All right. That's it.
Yeah.
He called it and we're out. That's all I got.
I will say this as my only buffer. It's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. I'm not
I
making
like
an excuse.
buffer's the nice choice of words
Yeah.
for that.
Is my only it was 50 minutes from my house. So I either drove to a
Does anybody
mystery
out there want to
location.
hear this excuse? Because it's already off to a bad start.
I want to hear it because it makes me
It's already
feel
off to a bad start.
validated. And Uber was like $50. I'm not
I
going to
get
take
that.
an Uber for
I get
$50.
that. I get that.
You offered to drive me, and then you replied with, "I'd drive you, but I don't have any room in my car."
Well,
which
I had to take Justin.
Speaking of bad friends, and then just had to slip that under the rug there, And
Did you just call me a bad friend because I had no space in my car?
I'm just deflecting. Is all. I'm just self-defense deflecting. And hey man, that's that.
You know, I notice I do a lot.
What do you do a lot?
I play with my hair.
Poof your hair.
Nonstop. I can't watch our podcast because all I do is can't stand looking at myself poofing my hair.
Well, then don't do it. Do you realize how much stuff I used to do, still do, that when I watch, I'm like, ooh, yeah, not doing that again. Do you ever watch yourself play live music? Yeah, that'll work the kinks out real quick.
Well, man, I actually don't have that problem. When I watch myself on video, I actually, I'm like, wow, I can do that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, Well, now it's more of like maybe like more of a formative years thing. Whenever you're like first starting to play out, like I remember we used to rehearse in front of mirrors. I've probably talked about this before, and it is uncomfortable.
Well, in music school, every drum room had a mirror so you could look at your
Yeah,
technique.
it is uncomfortable at first. You're like, ooh.
That's weird. That's just a weird concept to like play music in front of a mirror to me.
I
People
mean-
do it. I'm sure it's common. Dancers do it when they're dancing and, things like that.
Get used to looking at yourself, and then you're not in your head when you're standing in front of people. That's my 2 cents.
I'm not in my head when I'm standing in front of people. I'm in my head
Yeah, you've been doing it for a
24/7.
long time. You've been doing it for a long time. You've been doing it for a long time.
I'm in my head all the time. It's
Oh, so you're like,
You ever-
dude, I'm not. Yeah, I know. You're not thinking of anybody else. Yeah, you're just. You're
Have
thinking
you
about
ever been on stage and you're in such like robotic mode? You know how to play this stuff. You've been on the road for a while. And you know the songs, and it's like you're just muscle memory. You're playing,
Absolutely.
and like right. But have you ever been like I'll be playing like and I'll be like in front of a bunch of people, and in my head I'm like, damn, I didn't pay my cell phone.
Oh, I don't go there. I didn't go there.
I got it.
You go into like you go to your to-do list.
Like it's horrible. I'm like, oh God. I'm playing a show right now.
Gotta go to Trader Joe's and
But like I'll remember something like, oh fuck, and then I'll stress myself out and be like, I missed my cell phone payment. But my phone's
we were
still
doing
on.
we were doing a festival one time. This one stands out in particularly in my head. We were doing a festival one time, and we started the song, and it was a good sized crowd. So I'm kind of like in that moment doing that thing, like looking around. And I swear to you, we came to the bridge of that song, and I sort of snapped back to it, and I was like, oh, I have really no recollection of playing that first 2.5 minutes of that song, because I was just like chilling in the moment, I wasn't being boring. It's not like I was just like standing, or it wasn't like I was like I was like super into it, like the experience, and I wasn't even thinking about the music. And at that moment, at that change of the bridge was like my snap back, where it was like, oh, I'm playing something right now. I like that. I've said you should be that prepared when you're playing live. If you're playing live, if you're in front of a crowd of people, let me try that one more time, because your boy likes to stutter. This is my biased yet accurate opinion that if you're in front of people and you're thinking about what you're playing, you didn't practice enough.
Yeah, I was just going to comment on that, saying how cool is it that we're prepared enough.
You were usually, I have zero beef with your preparation.
I remember showing up for one or drive. We hadn't played a show in a long time.
A couple times you've been a little bit.
Well, it's because I, especially with my instrument, there's a lot of muscle memory, and stamina memory. Like my breathing, when we set a set and we start playing a set, like my body adjusts to that, and I know where the pain's going to be. I know where to save my energy, where to use my energy, this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah.
And coming from like playing in one band to going back to another band, all of the bands that I would play with at this point in time, whether it be Water Drive, Bullets and Octane, or Mercury Riots, if I had to play anything outside of the Mercury Riots, it would be an adjustment to get back into the style of playing that those other bands present.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So when we would show up to do those Water Drive reunion shows, per se, we call it,
because they're fast.
I remember I came in one time, and it only happened once. So you said a few times. I don't know what you're talking about. It happened once, where I came in and I hadn't worked on the songs before I came in, because I was like, I know these songs. And then I showed up and I got my ass kicked. Now, it wasn't a show. It was only rehearsal, thank goodness.
I remember that specifically, because we've talked about it since. Now, my couple times comment, I can easily clarify if you'd like for me to.
Please.
I was recently tagged. That band used to do a monthly, call it pay the bills gig.
Oh, Perks.
In Huntington Beach.
That's not a fair thing, dude. By set 3, I'm holding on with dear life.
I was tagged in photos of the last time possibly that we played there, and it's funny because I remember just dreading those, but everybody had fun. Everybody that came had fun. I don't know what we brought. Because here's why I brought that up. Because
two
those
times
were
I
the
was
ones
two
where
times
you're
I was
playing was Suspect.
it had
Johnny Sus on the drums in Huntington Beach.
listen, those perk shows were dangerous. Like it was like unlimited booze of crazy proportions.
And you never drove.
I never drove there, and by the third set, man, like it would be like it would start off, and I'm like, I'm pretty drunk. But halfway through the third set, it was like all the alcohol would hit me at once, and it was like holding on for dear life. And for whatever reason, some of the fastest shit was at like the end.
No, not necessarily. It seemed fast because you were diminishing, call it politely. It's like those shows. There were not always. I'm not gonna rail on you, but there was a handful of times that those shows weren't over because we were out of songs. Those shows were over because you were done.
I don't recall one time I called it for that.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You'd have played all night.
Really? That happened?
But there was. I remember one or two times everybody looking at each other. And dude, it's all good. It wasn't like a what the hell kind of thing.
And it's not like I was the only one. And it's definitely like I'm not like the only one fucking hammered.
Zero fingers pointing right.
You're painting me out to be like this complete idiot who's the only one getting hammered. And I think, you were drunk. We had to stop the show.
I remember one clear time and potentially like one or two others where like everybody just looked around, kind of went like, yeah, we're done.
Yeah, I mean,
and that was the vibe. There was zero anger. Anyways, moving on.
Those
what
were
do you got?
Those were shows. I missed them though in a weird, sick way. I remember, we played in a band with Candace for a long time. And I don't really ever recall, except in the early touring days of Warner Drive. It was the MySpace days, so we would like spam email tons and tons of people. And Candace, we would all email 200 people. Like that was like the rule. Everybody had to do 200 people. And Candace would do it, and all these dudes would show up at random stops on the road because, like, she would have to do whatever means it took to get people to the show. So, if it took a flirt here or a flirt there, I guess, she did what she had to do. And
God bless her, the good old MySpace days.
Those were the few times that, like, it was not even like anybody acting out of line, but she was kind of like, that guy's creeping me out. But those perk shows,
it was genuine. It was before shit was corrupted, and you could actually communicate with people, and they would like take you seriously.
Right, exactly. That was leading me to that we would play Perks. Perks is in Huntington Beach, and they would have us every summer when the U.S. Open of Surfing was happening. Now, we would play Perks all the time, and there would never be any problems with people being disrespectful towards Candace.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, the times we played the U.S. Open of surfing, those shows brought out a different kind of crowd that I remember being like, these guys are like disrespecting Candace in the front. And like, that's like the only time we did like, dude, like seriously, in a 3-year period, we did 690 shows with Warner Drive. You know what I mean?
Did you say 690 3-year period?
In a 3-year period.
I heard you wrong, buddy. My bad.
Yeah. In a 3-year period, we did 690 shows, and I can recall 2, and both of them were the U.S. Open of Surfing that Candace was disrespecting.
Lots of big trucks.
There are a lot of big trucks in Huntington Beach. So my question to you is this: does that mean there's a lot of small dicks in Huntington Beach?
I mean, the proof lies in the. Wait, hold on. The proof is in the.
Pudding.
Proof the pudding has proof.
Proof is in the pudding. Is the same. What
proof lies in the proof lies in the pudding.
What are you trying to say? Anyway.
So anyway, that was a what you call a nice little trip down memory lane.
Nice trip down memory lane.
Came up my Facebook feed the other day.
Ryan could paint me as a guy who wasn't prepared.
No, I'm going to tell you something. You're going to watch this podcast when it comes out, and you're going to listen to this section, and you're going to realize that that's not what I was doing right there. And you're going to text me or call me, and you're going to be like, "Yeah, dude, sorry, you're good."
Is that how it's going to go?
Something to that. I mean, yeah. I think so.
Yesterday we were going to do the podcast, and it got moved to today. But I stopped at Yum Yums yesterday. Listen to my Yum Yum story from yesterday.
Okay. We haven't had a Yum Yum story in a couple of episodes, so
I always get the
I'll
same
bite.
thing. I always get the same thing: egg,
no cheese,
bacon, no cheese, sesame seed bagel.
nothing
So
else.
I see her.
No taste.
I see her grab the bagel, and she picks up a knife that's got all sorts of shit on it. Like they just cut a sandwich with all sorts of shit on it. She wipes down the knife, but she uses the rag that they wipe down the counter with to wipe off the knife. So she cuts the bagel, and I go, hey, excuse me.
No.
I go, you just clean that knife with the rag you wipe the counter down with, and then you cut the bagel. She goes, oh, okay, sorry. So what does she do?
It's like cleaning your bathroom floor and then using that rag to blow your nose.
Right. I've done that. So with that,
that's a good metaphor.
So what does she do? She grabs a new bagel. She goes back to the same knife and uses the same knife to cut that bagel. And I say, hey, you just did a new knife. I go, you just did the same thing. So what does her coworker do? She goes and grabs a different rag from another table that we were cleaning.
And wipes the same knife?
The lady grabs a third bagel, cuts that with that knife, and at that point, I just fucking ate it because I'm like, what am I going to do?
Oh, no, I was about to agree with you when I thought you were going to say at that point, I just walked out.
No, it cost me $10.
You already paid?
Yeah.
How'd you pay before you got the sandwich?
Because while they were toasting my bagel, just came over to charge me.
Yeah, man, no way. No.
All right, I'm not alone on this. Okay.
No.
Like I didn't know if I was being if I was being a Ken or a Karen.
No, Karen. Well, you are a Karen, but that's a.
I'm like, you just took a dirty rag and cleaned a dirty knife and then cut my bagel.
I admire you for commenting because I want to hope that I would be.
Dude,
stand up for yourself enough.
It was too much. Like it inflicted a trigger in me that created anxiety.
I feel like he should have said, like, get a new knife. It's not about the rag.
Yeah, I was very unsatisfied, and then I ended up eating it because I thought to myself, well, maybe at least all the muck that was on it went to the other two bagels she cut prior.
Well, there's probably some truth to that, but I mean, like, did it taste a little dishy?
No.
Yeah. That bacon cover up anything.
I was hungry.
Anything tastes better than bacon? Let's be honest. What tastes better than bacon?
A ribeye.
Nothing.
A ribeye. A ribeye reverse seared in bacon grease is even better.
I'll tell you what. Real quick side note. Johnny Boy and I were at a private party about last weekend, and we both got a ribeye, and I still think about it. It was the best steak I've had in my life.
Good.
All right. I have a good topic. You want to talk about it?
Yeah.
Sorry for bringing this guy today. I hear my voice.
I prefer this guy.
Really? Yeah. Okay. Well, you got him for the next, call it 25, 30 minutes, you know?
Great.
And on that note, see you next time, guys. So I was thinking, I heard a good cover song, and I was thinking what's the best cover? Like, are there any cover songs that like outdid the original? Of course there are, but like, what are some cover songs that outdid the original?
I remember how we got to this topic.
Yeah.
We got to this topic because I had told you that I had went to go see Ricky Rocket's band play.
Where was that again?
It was at the Whiskey. And
the Whiskey.
I'm watching Ricky Rocket's band play, and the singer's talking about how they just recorded a song this week, and they're going to go on the road. And I thought, by the way he was talking about it, it sounded like they recorded a new song. But in reality, they start playing this song, and I thought, mind you, keep in mind, they didn't say it was a cover song, okay? So I'm sitting there with the expectations of a new song. They start playing this song, and to myself, I start thinking, I'm like, wow, that sounds a lot like Billy Squier, Everybody Wants Some. That's what it's called, right? Everybody wants you. Everybody wants you.
That's how I almost said everybody wants something. That's Van Halen.
Yeah. And then I'm like, oh my God, the guy just bamboozled me. I totally thought I was getting a new song. And they recorded a cover, which is fine. But here's the thing, and this is where this came up. Don't go recording a cover if you're going to play it in the same style as the band, not as good as the band.
Not as good. Yeah.
Okay. Like if you're going to play in the same style, okay, fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But you can't play it the same style and then not be even half as good.
And that falls short. Well, first of all, Billy Squier is
amazing,
fun guitar player to listen to.
Well, it's just great songs. Great songs.
Yeah, good. It's just all around great.
It was just like, you know what it was, dude? I remember the guitar tone, talking about the guitar.
Yeah, his guitar sounds fantastic.
Right, and the guitar tone, like going on, it was just like, dude, like you just rolled out a line 6 out of Guitar Center or something, dude. Like,
yeah. Oh man, it's like you're trying to cover Leslie West the Mountain and you're using like a combo. It's like you're doing the wrong thing.
It was just like, I thought to myself, if you're going to do a cover, you got to do something to make it your own or make it better. Yeah. And so it led us to the topic of, and we were going to talk about cover songs that are good and cover songs that are not good. And I know,
you thought of some that are not good. I like that because I didn't. I just tried to find the best ones. And I know who the best is.
It all started with one that wasn't good. That's how this topic came. It all started with that.
True.
I mean, I'll think of one.
By the way, I'm not going to give it out right now, but I know I have the best one.
I don't know if I have one that's not good. I was thinking more along the lines of what covers are better than the original.
Warner Drive Roxette. Look it up on YouTube.
Yeah, that's right.
I wasn't even planning on doing that. That was off the cuff, baby.
Okay. But Johnny Cash Hurt is a perfect example of way better than the original. The original doesn't even stand close to the Johnny Cash one. Doesn't even stand close. Think?
Really?
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
It's not even close. Because, not that it's not good. The Johnny Cash one, the emotion in his voice and the words, it's extremely touching. And if you watch the music,
it's just him and a guitar too.
Yeah,
and
then like 9 Inch Nails got all that stuff going on, and no disrespect to Trent Reznor, but his voice is not nearly as comforting as Johnny Cash's. And then another example of one that would be, if you're going to do a cover, make it your own. So that way you don't have to live up to the original per se. But this one not only lives up to the original, I would say that in its own right is just as good as the original.
Spit it out.
And that is I Will Survive. The Gloria Gaynor, is that her name? Gloria Gaynor is the original
Gloria
singer.
Gaynor?
She's the original singer. And
so I Will Survive. Cake covered it.
Cake covered it.
I've not heard that.
You've never heard the Cake version of I Will Survive?
I wish we could play music on this podcast because this would be fun to pull them up. Darn it. What about All Along the Watchtower?
Who's the original Jimi Hendrix
covered,
and then who
Bob
covered
Dylan?
Bob Dylan.
Jimi Hendrix covered Bob Dylan All Along the Watchtower and blew that turd out of the water.
Yeah.
But even Bob Dylan said once he heard Jimi Hendrix's version, he said, "I'm never going to play that again." He did it better. It's funny that he gave credit. He seems like a curmudgeon, but he gave credit to.
What's a curmudgeon mean?
Curmudgeon, like a cranky guy.
Maybe it's just his voice.
Yeah. We've been over this. I saw him in concert.
You did?
Oh, yeah. Bob Dylan. Years back.
Did we really talk about this?
You got a pretty good memory, so maybe we didn't. I saw Bob. Bob Dylan is my least favorite concert that I've been to.
You, dude. Ever since I've gotten COVID, dude, my memory sucks. No lie.
Well, Bob Dylan is the least favorite concert I've ever been to.
Really?
It was awful.
Why?
It was boring.
Did he have a drummer?
It was boring. It was bad. He didn't say hello. He didn't say goodbye. He didn't say a thing between songs. The only way that you could tell what song he was playing was you just heard music, and then you heard like Mr. Tambourine Man. It's like, oh, that's where we're at. Okay, cool. All right. And then 2 hours later, I'm walking home with my friends that I went with, and they were acting like they just saw God. Credit to Bob Dylan. He has had a career where I can understand people having that reaction to him. But I was just like, did we watch the same show?
Did you say that?
No, I just let them enjoy it, man. Whatever, man. I'm not going to be that guy. Anyways, Bob Dylan was boring. Unpopular opinion.
Well, no. I want to hear more about the fact that you're just like ragging on a legend.
I know. I like a lot of his music.
Hey, I don't like
too.
any
It's
of
just-
his music, man.
I like a lot of his music.
That
If I'm
guy's
sitting
got
in
to
my
be
home,
he's got to be the luckiest guy ever.
well, he's more of a poet. Let's put it. Let's call it what it is. He's more of a poet, and he's a fantastically creative writer. And he was able to use a bad singing voice to express good poetry through music. And I think I'm going to give that what's it called? The movie that's out about him now, the biopic about him now. I'm going to watch it.
Well, people really have been raving about that movie.
Yeah, looks good. I'll check it out. Not hating. You're making me feel like a hater right now. It's okay. I kind of am, but whatever.
I'm in therapy right now, and what happened right now with you was some kind of trigger just happened, of some kind. That made you feel guilty about that.
Oh, I thought you meant I triggered you.
No.
To a different place.
No, you just had a trigger of your own.
Yeah. Well, I'm wondering, your therapy sessions, do you derail them like you derail the topics on this podcast?
Absolutely. I even told my therapist the other day that they call me the interrupt.
I'm interested in hearing what your therapist has to say about me. I think she's going to say that I'm a good influence in your life. We can put a pin in that and revisit it later.
I think so. I haven't talked to her about you.
That's okay.
Which is a good thing because you're not any kind of issue.
You're wading through the mud right now.
When I mention any specific person within a session, it's either because of something maybe I said to a person or some kind of interaction, but they're usually like me trying to deal with some kind of anxiety of some kind. So in that case, I've never brought you up because I haven't had any reasons to.
Yeah. I'm a solid dude.
You mentioned Bob Dylan and Jimi Hendrix. Cover songs. Okay, we can go back to Ricky Rocket here. I'm going to go with the Ricky.
I don't want to go back to Ricky.
No, check this out.
I want to go into the good ones.
This is I'm going to pull out a bad one. I'm going to pull out a bad cover for you. Okay.
All right. I'll call the good ones. You call the bad ones. I like this.
It's just weird. I've named two. I'm about to name the second bad cover, and Ricky Rocket's been the drummer for both of them. The first one was Ricky Rocket's whatever the hell he calls his solo band. It's
cover band.
He calls it like Ricky Rocket's. It's a really bad name. So Everybody Wants You by Billy Squier. Bad cover by Ricky Rocket. The other one is
Ricky Rocket's
Rock and Roll All Night, Party
Kiss?
Every Day by Kiss.
That's a hard song to play.
Okay, it is. It
Because
is
it's
hard.
simple.
Hold on, let me finish.
Simple.
The drumming's actually not as simple as you would think.
That's what I mean. That's what it's simplistically
Challenging.
difficult. Continue.
Poison's cover of Rock and Roll All Night, Party Every Day sucks. And the reason it sucks is, besides Bret Michaels being super cheesy in that, hit it, Mr. Rocket, shut the hell up, dude, okay? Just shut up. Just shut up. Okay. But then on top of that, I'm not a Ricky Rocket fan. And it's not because I don't think he can play. I just think
this is a hater episode.
Hold on, dude. It's an honest episode, okay? He doesn't have good feel to me. It doesn't feel right when he plays. It just doesn't. Even in Poison songs, I like Poison. I'm a fan. I've seen them live a few times.
They're good live.
Yeah, they're a great live band. But Ricky Rocket doesn't have good. He doesn't have good feel. He just doesn't have good feel. Poison isn't about the musicianship.
So Ricky Rocket's
Poison's not about the musicianship. It's about the fun.
So Ricky Rocket covering Billy Squier is one, and then Poison covering Rock and Roll All Night is your second bad one.
And Ricky Rocket plays drums on both of them.
Yeah. So my second good one is Twist and Shout. The Beatles covered.
Who did that? Fat Domino?
No, they're just like two unknown songwriters.
Interesting.
Yeah, but that song's a banger. It makes me think of Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
It's funny that you bring that up because I was watching something yesterday. There was one of
Derailer?
one of those. No. There was one of those '80s cruises, and they were talking about how on that '80s cruise, they show '80s movies, like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which that comes what you just mentioned. But I was going to say that the reason I watched it was because somebody fell off the boat and died.
Yeah, the singer of Faster Pussycat's girlfriend.
Was it his girlfriend?
Is his girlfriend.
That's why he was in that picture.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's horrible.
And I read that article. And
Well, the girl that was talking that they interviewed, I'm like, I recognize her. How do I know her? They were interviewing her friend. I mean, it's really good. Anyway,
it's terrible.
You've given two really
There's like
good
no
ones.
information about it either. They didn't find her, I don't think.
No, but they turned around, went looking for her, and when they couldn't find her, they kept on with the ship, the cruise. You named two really good ones, but nothing about the two that you named was exciting for me.
Okay.
They were good. They were really good ones. I didn't know Twist and Shout was a cover. I have another great one.
Go for it.
It's Easy, Faith No More, covering who sings the original?
It's
Lionel
easy?
Richie. Lionel Richie's. Oh, it's
You know what, dude?
easy.
I appreciate I appreciate you today because that's the second one that I haven't heard that you brought up.
Well,
So I'll have to go pull that one up. I mean, it doesn't move me because I've never heard it, but
dude, it's amazing. And they released it as a single. Both of the songs I named were singles.
what about Hallelujah? Jeff Buckley covered Leonard Cohen. Did you ever hear that? That is a cover.
I've heard many covers of Hallelujah. I've heard Bon Jovi do it too.
Jeff Buckley's is the best.
Give me one that excites me.
One that excites you.
Yeah, none of these are exciting. Hallelujah.
David Bowie, All the Young Dudes.
Mott the Hoople.
Mott the Hoople originally wrote that. If that doesn't excite you, then
That does. I
kinda,
didn't realize he covered that.
Yeah, he covered it.
Do you know that so did Ozzy? Ozzy did a whole record of covers recently.
Yeah, with like Post Malone. It's good.
Yeah. What else you got?
Nirvana should excite you. That acoustic they had. Another Bowie song, "Man Who Sold the World." Man Who Sold the World, right? The Man Who Sold the World.
Who originally sang that one?
Man Who Sold the World was David Bowie. Nirvana covered it unplugged, and then they covered Lake of Fire on that unplugged.
Isn't that Bob Dylan?
Lake of Fire was the Meat Puppets.
Oh, I like the Meat Puppets.
Which I don't even know what that original song sounds like. I just know the Nirvana version. That should excite you. Does that make it move?
You know who did a great cover? Vaden.
Who?
They did a cover of
Yeah.
Money, Money, Money by ABBA.
They had a lot of good songs. Friends of ours, they had a lot of good covers.
No, but the other ones didn't sound unique. This one was just like, I love when a band, like the perfect example is the two that I gave you, of a band takes a song that you would never think they would cover, that is so completely out of the genre of what they do, and then they make it their song, like they wrote it.
I haven't given the best one yet, and it covers that exact criteria. But I have a couple that I didn't know were covers. Do you know what is a cover that I did not know was a cover?
Okay. You know which one I recently learned, and I wonder if we have the same ones. I did not know that Kiss didn't write "God Gave Rock and Roll to You." That's a cover. I don't know who sings the original though.
Is it a cover or they have a writer?
That's a cover.
Interesting. That's a good song.
That's a great song. You know what the best line in that song is? It's never too late to work, never too late to work, never too late to work 9 to 5.
Oh, damn it. I had it and I lost it. There's a line in that song that I was going to retort with, but I lost it. Cool story, Ryan. You know what's a cover that I never knew was a cover? Me and Bobby McGee, Janis Joplin.
That shit doesn't surprise me because all those like you named a bunch from that era. The Beatles, Bob Dylan, Janis Joplin. Back then, they all used songwriters. You know, in a lot of ways. I want to double check my facts on my Kiss guy.
I Love Rock and Roll's a cover. Joan Jett. Did you know that?
Who wrote that?
Joan Jett. Well, Joan Jett covered a band called The Arrows.
And then you know what? She also covered Crimson and Clover. That's a
Tommy James and the Shondells. They're from Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah,
Crimson and Clover.
God gave.
What are you looking
rock.
up?
Who wrote God
Google.
Gave Rock?
Google.
Russ Ballard.
Who wrote?
Yeah, did you hear? Did you hear?
Russ Ballard. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, and it was released.
I want to hear it.
He played. It was released for his band. He was in the band Argent.
Oh,
Argent wrote that song.
Well,
that came out in 1973. That song.
That makes so much sense though, because Kiss toured with Argent.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That makes so much sense. That's interesting, dude. Good. Hey, buddy. Good one.
I recently, I didn't know,
I genuinely appreciate that.
that really, really threw a curveball at me. Not like,
Yeah.
no, I was like, they didn't write that song.
You know who's a good cover artist?
That's a great cover. I've named 3 great covers today that when we're downloading our shit today, we're going to listen to them.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to listen to that, like the original.
Yeah, we're going to listen to that together when we get off this call. We're off this.
You know who's a good cover artist? I'm trying to get this out, but we're having this is good banter. A really good cover artist, I think, in my, once again, biased yet accurate opinion, is Marilyn Manson.
Sweet Dreams is a cool cover. That's a perfect example of
He
doing
also
a
did
song.
Tainted Love.
Yeah. I mean, he takes songs and he that's
makes
a
him his
perfect makes him his own.
See, I'm getting you excited now. I'm getting it moving a little bit. Do you want me to reveal the best, or do you still want to kind of go on this a little bit?
Well, here's one that is really kind of not a cover. We covered it in the Bad Romantics. Hungry Heart. Do you know that Bruce Springsteen wrote that for the Ramones and
for the Ramones,
and they didn't want to use it.
Womp womp.
I would have loved to hear what it would have sounded like. And
it would have sounded cool.
And here's the thing, maybe it wouldn't have been nearly as good. There's something about Bruce's voice singing Hungry Heart that makes it so
Bruce
awesome.
Springsteen covered, what's that song about the wrapped up like a deuce? Blinded by the Light. That's a cover. That's a cover.
Well, I never heard Bruce's version. I've only heard the Manfred Mann's version. Yeah.
Or wait, did I flip? No, yeah, correct. I'm sorry. I butchered that. Bruce Springsteen wrote that, and then Manfred Mann made it a hit.
Oh, I could.
Bruce Springsteen.
I could hear.
I think it was on.
I could hear Bruce Springsteen singing.
Yeah. Wrapped up like a deuce. I think it was on Live from Asbury Park, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, so he did record it. So that's
he wrote it, and then the cover that everybody has heard, the version that most people have heard is a cover. Manfred Mann.
Isn't there a Neil Diamond song with a similar situation?
Love, baby, love, said brother, loves travel and salvation show. Holiday, holiday.
I don't even know what Neil Diamond song you're singing.
That's what's it? This is Neil Diamond. Brother loves traveling salvation show. You're a Neil Diamond fan. You don't know Brother Loves Traveling Salvation Show? That's one of my favorite Neil Diamond songs.
Yeah, we'll have to listen to it.
Yeah, we have so much stuff to do. We have so much stuff to do after this.
So you say, so what's the best one? Let's hear what the best one is.
The best cover that far outdid the original. Do you want me to just out with it, or do you want me to try to give you clues?
Give me clues.
It's a Beatles song.
Is it the cover?
This person.
The Beatles covered it, or people covered the Beatles?
Said artist covered the Beatles.
Okay, I Am the Walrus.
It's a cool song. Nope.
All right, give me another clue.
Wonder Years.
Wonder Years. This TV show?
Yeah.
Doesn't help me. Give me another hint.
Joe Cocker.
Joe Cocker covered it? I don't know.
Really? With a little help from my friends.
Oh. Hey, isn't
that is, dude, name a cover that just does better than that. It's
okay.
So he blew away a Beatles song. He took a Beatles song and said, "Hold my beer."
What was the name of that?
With a little help from my friends. Ringo sings it.
Okay. Here's another Beatles covered song by a great band.
Beatles covered song by a great band. Okay, gotcha.
Okay, all right. And I'm going to give you one hint. One hint. The band is Aerosmith.
Aerosmith covered the Beatles. Aerosmith covered the Beatles. Aerosmith. Come Together. Come Together. That's a great cover. I heard the Aerosmith version before I heard the Abbey Road Beatles version.
I think I might have too.
Yeah.
So you're saying that's the best cover, huh?
In my opinion. Name one that does better than that, man. That song's so good.
Johnny
He's got
Cash
so
Hurt.
much soul.
Johnny Cash Hurt is the ultimate cover.
It's kind of the same thing though. It takes a song that is a good song and it just puts puts a heart to it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I'll get down with that. And on that note, everybody,
on that note, fun topic, dude.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, high five.
Look at the elbow. If you look at the elbow, you'll never miss. Thanks for joining us here on the Whatever Buddy podcast, episode 115. Yeah. Make sure you like, subscribe, and report. Hit the little bell. It helps with the algorithm, apparently. It must be working. Yeah. People must be hitting the bell because we've been getting more plays in our last few episodes. So maybe
we're pretty popular.
It's the bell, the bell hen.
If I could put one request out to our friends, let's build this ship. What do you say?
I love the idea.
This was a fun topic. Send it to a friend and say, listen to these two idiots talk about music.
Yeah, that's it. And on that note, everybody, you have a good couple of weeks. We will see you soon. And bye.
Appreciate you, Johnny.
Thanks.
See you next time.
See ya. Appreciate you too.